Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Why is that coming through now? Can you hear me now? Oh, man, this thing's killing me. Windows is freaking killing me. Thank you. I'll go through that again for everybody that apparently, man, the system. I got to go back to Apple. So the point that I'm getting at here, and I'll just do it really quickly so you have the levels. if you take a look at how this is playing out, and the important thing that I'm trying to go over here is the fact that watch this 6205, watch this 6163, watch these levels. Make sure that you actually get through these levels. 6106, just that's probably support. Your major support is going to be this level in here, which is that 6075 level. You just want to make sure that you get through that level, and make sure of that. And sorry about the the bugs there with the computer. So usually it's my fault. Today that wasn't, but maybe I should say it's all my fault one way or another. Let's get rid of this. And what we're going to do from my perspective, let's just start over. I do think that you're going to get a lot of people that are going to front run the Micron quarter, and it's probably going to be, really good the way that people are positioning themselves for it. And I really think that, I don't know that you have a shot at coming back down here, but there's that same level. If you were to look at that level, that's tied to that 6074 level in the ES. Here's your, drop dead level. I don't think you have to worry about that. And then you're going to have something very similar where you're not going to be able to go back. You have to literally go to an hour chart to find anything of consequence. Very similar to what you had to do on the ES, right? And then you just start looking and seeing if there's anything really there. And maybe you could argue that, because you've hit in these levels a couple of times, but your really big level again is going to be like right here, and you've reversed off that. So I would use that. I mean, you can also use that level, but the thing about here is you fought it and failed. You fought it and failed. You hit it here. You tried to rally. Like, there's a lot more going on in that level that I marked off than anything else. Also, that level that I marked off, if you come back here to that Tuesday, December 17th level, that's going to get you right here, that little, and also flip there. So you have a lot going on in that level that I marked off, and I'd watch those, and they would be my, my key levels today. And I do think that you're setting up here. The real news is not coming out till tonight, and it's going to be Microns. And a lot of people are betting, including analysts, that it's going to be like a blowout. So, I mean, that's really what you're seeing, the way that they're positioning themselves right now. And I can't stress that enough. And you're going to see that in, the upgrades today with NVIDIA. They're taking that up to a 250. AVGO, they took that up to what? Yesterday. They took that up to a 266. Something like that. So it's definitely there. It's definitely something that you want to pay attention to. It's most certainly something that, I want to pay attention to when you start to see this, because you're going to break out today for sure. You're going to hit all-time highs today. And then the question is what happens with earnings and everything else. And it's probably going to go goofy with Micron. And that's why I think they're all trying to get ahead of that. But let's keep going with the Qs. You are breaking out here. It's the first time. Hold on, let's clean this all off. It's the first time that you're actually really emphatically above this. And what you want to do is see that close. I don't see how we don't push here. I really don't. The question really bodes is, are tariffs an issue? Are we kicking that down the line? The earnings are there, man, for the AI stuff. So it seems like we're back on to that. And the one concern really was, what's going on with Iran and the war. And that looks like it's over. And our involvement looks like it's going to be way less than people thought. He seems pretty heated, quite frankly, over, called a ceasefire, and then people didn't ceasefire. I think he's had it. So it's just my opinion, but what do I know? I only play a war expert when there's a war. So other than that, I would just watch, but I think you're at blue skies. I mean, I don't think there's really much more for me to add here. Like, where do I go with this? You're at blue skies. So, and you're setting up and you have a year base essentially from here. People say, well, that's not okay. So, when you start looking at this, it's a thing. You have not been able to clear this level. You have a lot of crap backed up because you couldn't clear this level. So when you clear it, for lack of a better term, the word is crap. you have blue skies. So then the question is like, how do you mark off where you're going to be today? And I find that troubling because people will use like ATR, and I think you're better off looking at human behavior. So you would take like the previous day, which was, what's today? Wednesday. So you take the previous day, which is Tuesday, and mark up the Tuesday bar and drop a fib. I think that's a much better way of doing it. So like because it just tells you what human behavior is. And you can also use the ATR to do it, because that'll give you like the expected range. But once you're out of the expected range, what's the freaking point? Oh, let's do it this way. Hold on. So I need you to come up to here, and you're going to be the high of Tuesday, right? Yeah, you'll be the high of Tuesday, and then you will be the low of Tuesday. And all I want to do is just use I want to use the low. And that's going to tell you, and that's going to give you the expected range on the day, right? From a fib level. ATR might be different, options might be different, but that's really what you would look for a level. There's your 50% line of that move from Tuesday. So they're the levels that I would really watch today, because when you start hitting blue skies, you need something, but it really boils down to me, human behavior. And I don't think anything charts human behavior better than fib levels. I just really don't think anything's better than fib levels, quite frankly, for charting it, because it's just the way it is. I mean, that's the way the stuff was created. It's freaking nature. Deal with it, boomers. So again, what about here? Well, we have levels. If we clean them off, let me go to the 5 and take a look here. I don't know how much time I'm gonna have for questions today, guys. There's a lot going on here I gotta prep for, but I will try to take some. If we take a look at the SPY right here, there's your level and you're flipping it. And so if we go back, you'll note you really don't have a lot there. So then you go to the 15, there's nothing there, which means a lot of blue skies. You cleaned a lot of those people out. Now it takes you to the hourly. And when you go and take a look at the hourly, here you are. And that's your first real test right in here. Drop that to a 5 and you'll get it, and you'll see like, okay, well, that's it. That's 608.50. Go back and see if there's something else that if we cleared that, where does that put us? And you're starting to get up here again. You're starting to get in the nosebleed seats, right? At 700 level. So where does that really put us? You start looking at this level like right here, and there's definitely something to it where hit, rejected, again, battleground, hit, rejected over and over and over again. So the reason I spend time doing this and showing you how I get there so that you can do it for yourself. That's the whole purpose of these videos, so that you don't need me to do it. But that's how I see your top levels. The lower levels right here, that's 606.31. I think they're the levels that I would be paying attention to and trying to focus on. So 100%. Definitely think that that's something to look at here. So then I go from there and see how that plays out. I also think that you can do this with the Qs, and it'd be pretty similar, but we already did that with the split. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I really want to cover. We could do NVIDIA, because everyone's going to be watching it today and going, oh, did we buy NVIDIA? No, boomers, you buy it at 84, 85. So the question really is this on the weekly, and you can see how you're going to get like an all-time high weekly close if you just stop here. You've been fighting this area forever, and you have a perfect double bottom. Like, it's like literally perfect. You can say it like it doesn't really get any cleaner from a double bottom perspective. So how high could this go? Yeah, I mean, it's going to be the world's biggest company. I mean, I've been saying it for over 2.5 years now. But if you look at something like that, what you do is you'd measure the base off that, and then that'll tell you where it could go. So just the base alone is probably what, 60, 70%. So 2.25, 225, something like that. If when it breaks there, where are you going now off of something like this? A lot of it's going to depend on Micron. Like if Micron comes in, this thing will come in hard. All semis will. It all really depends what happens with Micron. But with DRAM pricing where it is, people are really expecting Micron to absolutely crush. So I really think that's very important for people to get that. And the Micron's up a lot, but the question is how much higher? I don't have an answer to that. What I would say to you is that this thing's obviously going to break out. It's a question of, does it break out today or does it not break out today? And I don't really have a lot in here to focus on. Like there's some reversal levels in here, but there's not really a ton up here that I pay attention to. That 150, everyone will like say 150 is a big number. Is it like this was a big deal, but is that really that big of a deal? I don't think it is. I truly don't, I really, really don't. So I think you're going higher, but I'd be super careful, like in just chasing. Even yesterday, it's like, oh, you buy the breakout. Oh, I'm in. And then, after you buy the breakout, what happens? Oh, I'm down $1, down $2. So like you always are getting these shots. What I find, helpful with this is to have a core position that you own and then just trade around the core so that you always have something on as it just keeps going higher and higher and higher. I find that very helpful. This had a huge, this had such a great opportunity down here, didn't it, for people, when everyone thought the sky was falling. So, yeah, I think you're going to have a good night, but we'll say, you never know. You never really know how it plays out. That's the beauty of trading. Life's like a box of chocolates. But I think you'd be remiss to be sleeping on this. But I think you're really big levels. And, they come out and say demand's through the roof, then demand's going to be through the roof. The question becomes, what does that mean and what does that look like? It's going to mean a lot, quite frankly. So, and I think that's how you should view it. I really do. So, and if I take a look at something like an AVGO, the question is, are you setting up to break something like that? Are you going to roll back over today? Are you going to break out and just go? That's really the question. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting day to say the least. I'll leave it at that. But I'll leave it at that. I think it's going to be an interesting day. I only have like 5 to 10 minutes here, guys. I'm sorry for starting so late, but we'll go there. TEM, hood. Yep. So I actually think I have no regrets either on that. On Netflix, no regrets, Panama. It looks perfect. I actually had a position in this at 900, 9 in here. I think these options because I thought earnings were going to be fantastic. And then they gave me this freaking doji. And then they started this 2-day pattern of like, do you remember this pattern in April where it took 2 days for them to catch on that earnings were good? It's like all of a sudden the market went like full boomer mode and actually started reading the reports. And then I paid $1,100 for it. Now I'm up like $180 on it. So I haven't done anything with it. I don't plan on it. It's just like leave it alone. Leave it alone. Leave Brittany alone. I don't think there's anything to do with it. I need symbols. You got to give me symbols, man. I'm not going to have time to search. I think that's NBIS, but so I don't put much faith in Dan. I mean, he lost a lot of credibility on the last dip. So, I mean, I know people follow him, but yeah, I have a very big position in coin. I don't think people get it yet. I truly don't. And I think they're going to lift hood up on this, and it doesn't make any sense why they're going to do it, but they're going to do it. So it doesn't really matter. That doesn't make any sense. I will throw out a statistic for you because I love statistics. If the first time a stock gets to 90, the very first time a stock gets to 90, it has a 70% chance of going to 100. So it doesn't really get any cleaner than that. Yeah, I mean, it's been a great trade. We had a couple people in the room that actually bought this and they've been in it ever since. I can only buy so many names. So like I'm pretty dialed in on that space. I don't really think Hood should be moving the way, like Hood's moving because of this. I don't know what they're going to have to do with stable coins, but coin's moving because of stable coins. Like make no bones about it. Like people are actually starting to get it a little bit on the institutional side. And retail does not get this at all yet. Like they just aren't getting it. So I actually do think you're going to take out the highs. I've been buying it. We've been buying it since 265, since that news came out, and formerly bought it at like in the 290s, but I've been in it ever since. I have it buried. Like I compartmentalize my accounts, and this is buried in one. So there's nothing to do with it. So who's itchy? Bro, first day here? J-Pal. What's going on, Jacob? Yeah, I'm not going to be able to get too much here, guys. BWXT. You know, that actually hit one of the vol scans. Yeah, this one and the other, the OKLO did. Yeah, I like this, and I like what it's doing. I like how you're not breaking after that blow off. Like that was a bad blow off too. Hold on. You're running like buckshot over that area. So I actually like that. I like how that's acting here. You're not falling apart. You're actually having an inside week, and it's really what you want to see. So give me the inside week and then pop out of the outside week. Like that's really what you want there. That's what I want with it. So all that stuff's going higher. I mean, just look at nukes. Like sometimes I say this to people, you know, and I mean it like very nicely. Like if you don't have the time to watch all this stuff, you know, there's a reason that these ETFs are great. You just buy the ETF and you can load them because they have less volatility. And you know, you're buying this stuff, and as long as you get the theme right, like to buy the right ETF, all you need is the theme. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's such an easy trade. Is this the theme? Yeah, buy the ETF because they'll take care of the rest. Let them. That's what you're paying them for. It's like I've been telling people this with like ARCX, like with this satellite and space theme. Just buy this. It's just so much easier. Let them do it. You know, unless you have the time, then go to the individual names. So I think that's really helpful. BBAI is all over the vol scans today. I don't know what's going on with it. It hit yesterday too. No idea what the news is. Maybe they're actually going to do the AI data center thing, and that's why it's ripping. The Reddit was interesting. The upgrade was really interesting yesterday, but I've got to get through. I got to push. I actually think everyone should be really focused. Like you have to get over the 148 and stay over there. Yeah, UFO has really good holdings. I see that one. The other one I like is Jedi. Jedi's more concentrated. 20% of Jedi is in ASTS, and ASTS and RKLB, and I think they're your real big dogs. So I do like that one. Man, I know I should have got involved in this. There was just so many names the other day, but this thing actually went down to 28.5. But yeah, that whole space. But go look at the Jedi one too. That's good. It's just not US. SMCI, didn't they do a secondary again? So I mean, it's just a pig. I don't know what you want me to tell you. Like there, you guys are like all over that name. You love it. I don't know. I don't think they are fully getting it yet. If they fully got what's about to happen there, in my opinion, the stock would be a lot higher. Like, I don't think people truly understand like how dominant coin's going to be. I don't think people get it. So they have the entire framework for what is going to happen. Like, it really doesn't get any cleaner than that as a trade for all of stablecoin. Like it just doesn't. For all the payment systems, for all the tokenization of equities, like this is the trade. Like there's not a ton of names that are doing this. You know, I don't know that Hood's going to do equity tokenization. I doubt it highly. Maybe they do, but I know Coin will. And I don't think people get that. I really don't. ACHR, you know, that actually had a little volume this morning. You're just in like these holding patterns with these names. Like you're not really breaking out. So I'm going to see where this is this morning. Yeah. Let me go from there. And what else do we have? EWY. Do they have 10% of Hynix? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're probably going to have a really good day tomorrow. So's Taiwan Semi, right? Taiwan Semi should crush it tomorrow, actually. Which means that Taiwan, what's Taiwan's ETF? Okay, what's with the caps? Come on, Boomer, turn the caps off. What is it? Don't they have one, right? There it is, EWT. So it's like 45% or something like that of their stock market. So that'll have a good day tomorrow too. NBIS. Yeah, I mean, you gotta have to break out. You did your pullback, which is nice. I mean, like you're doing your fill, like, but you're just setting up. You got a little cup and handle there for sure, 100%. Let's go through these super quick. Happy Wednesday. Yay. Good morning from Toronto. Good morning from Miami. Now, there's a bunch of people from Jersey in here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I want to buy stuff below the 22, but I do think that this will go higher. I just don't know that now's the time. But I do like it. I don't know that now you have to do it. Inside the whole time, it's brutal. There's Jersey. Jersey's in the house. Woot woot. There's a bunch of people in Jersey up here. Now you can hear me. It's brutal, isn't it? How did it go on for so long and I didn't see any of this? You guys were torturing me. What's wrong with you people? And then nobody in the room said it till later. All right, what else we got here? Anything I got to go over? What's up, Jay? GDRX, that's interesting. What's up, John? Yeah, we should probably go through this because I'll tell you what I would be looking at too is stuff like this. So, like anything that grinded higher yesterday very quietly and hit all-time highs, you probably want to pay attention to. As much as I don't want to buy that name right now, but that's probably going to go higher. That probably does go higher. I'm really curious about this. AMD, I don't touch, but because I don't understand why I'd want to own it over NVIDIA. It makes zero sense to me. Oh, I know why I had that green. I had that. Someone was asking me, why is that green? I have a green because it hit the 22 and bounced off of it. I mean, AMD is clearly acting better than NVIDIA. So you can, buy that, but I have no interest in that whatsoever. I just don't. GDRX, I really want to see. Yeah, that's kind of interesting there, isn't it? I mean, I could see why you're looking at that. That you can get to that 6 level. Go to the bottom of the comments. VRT. I need these things to price. We actually closed this yesterday, or talked about the exhaustion. It was completely exhausted yesterday in the move. This has been a big trader in the room yesterday. Like we've been in this thing for a while. And yesterday it showed that it was exhausted. So we were just very fortunate. I didn't see a secondary coming. We just got lucky. I need them to price. I need it to price. If it doesn't price, I have no interest. I do need it to price. I don't think he's backing down. What time is it? Cool. I went through all this. All right. I got to jump, guys. Trade to win today. I just don't have an interest in it. I think it's going to keep grinding. You have to understand this is where people screw up the most, man. Like, where's your focus? Like, oh, great. It's going up. Okay. The whole market's freaking going up. Like, do I want to own that or do I want to own coin? Like where are you putting your money? You know what I mean? Like, where's your focus? Yeah, all right. So PLTR went up $2. Yay. All right, I'm up 18 this morning on my coin position. And I haven't even got through my second cup of coffee yet. So like, which one do you so it becomes a function of where you're putting your money. Like if everything's working, right? Because I mean, like, look, this is the market. The market's going to hit all-time highs. Everything's going to work. You're not a genius because you bought a stock that went up. The function that becomes is where do you put your money? Like where it's a function of capital allocation. Like just because PLTR goes up, who cares? Like, is Micron going to crush tonight? If they do, does it go to 140? I'll make more money there, right? So it's a capital allocation question. It's not really a question of does PLTR go higher? Of course it's going higher. It's hitting highs. The whole market is. So, all right, later. Watch Micron tonight.